guys, welcome to a brand new episode of Sipping Tea with Suzanne. So I've been missing you guys. So as you know, last week was our anniversary, and we decided to go out and celebrate our anniversary. So we did not have a new episode last week, but I'm so excited because we are back with a brand new episode for the first month, Wednesday in May, with Miss Natalie.
Hi.
Yes.
Thanks for having me.
Yay. I'm excited, Natalie from Nuestra. So we're going to dive in and talk about her amazing story today. But first, I want to start off by saying thank you to all my lovely viewers who have subscribed, liked, shared, sent their feedback, who have hit their notifications so you know every time that we post content. If you're not one of those, please make sure that you are. So thank you for tuning in week after week. And if it's your first time joining, I know you'll be back because I have some phenomenal guests on the show. I also want to thank my fantastic sponsors. So my very first sponsor is Life Garden Cafe. I want to thank them for just being consistently amazing. Love them, love them, love them. They are your one-stop destination for fabulous food, great people, great service, and the space is fantastic. So please contact Life Garden Cafe for all your lunch, your anniversaries, your dinners, for all your catering needs. Love them, love them, love them. And my second sponsor is Paul Anderson Photography. Please contact him for all your photography needs. He does weddings, baby showers, barbecues, funerals, real estate, anything you want, including headshots. So please contact either of them. And I am excited because I have Miss Natalie on the show. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
I am so excited to have you. So for those of you who are not familiar with Natalie, so Miss Natalie Rodriguez, she is the owner and operator of Nuestra restaurant, which is located in Worcester.
Yes.
All right, so we are going to go way back to the beginning, girl. So tell me, though, like, how did Nuestra get birthed? Like, how did that just come about?
It just kind of came, really, honestly. I was working at the Marriott as a food and beverage operations manager, and I had always wanted to open my own spot. I know I never wanted to really work for anybody as an adult. And I always wanted a nice location, and the opportunity kind of presented itself, and then it didn't work out. And then maybe a year and a half, 2 years down the line, it presented itself again, and I said, you know what, I'm gonna go for it. I had lost my job maybe 2 years before I had opened up the restaurant. I had went through school, and while I was in school, I was cooking food at home. So I was making meals on Fridays and selling it to people. So a lot of people don't know that, except for my core people, but I was selling plates of food out of my house, illegally.
Girl, you're from the Caribbean.
So we were selling plates of food out of the house on Fridays. I was going to school full time, and I said, what's the one, I was in the healthcare field, and I was in school for prereqs for nursing, and I was like, what's the one consistent thing that I've always done? And I was like, screw it, I'm not gonna do any more nursing stuff, and I switched my major completely. I did 18 credits a semester for 2 semesters straight. So pretty much for a whole year.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's, for those that don't know, that's like full-time and part-time.
That's like 5 or more courses.
Yeah, it was like 7, I think. It was crazy.
Holy cow, girl.
Yeah. So on Fridays, I didn't have that many classes, so I would make, I think I had like 1 class, so I would make food.
Yeah.
And then I built the following, and then people were always like, oh, you show up at your own spot and whatnot, and then it kind of fell in my lap after.
When did Nuestra open?
We opened in January of 2020.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Fun times.
Fun times. All right. So what was that like, opening a business and then the pandemic happened?
Yeah. So we we opened the business. We left for cheer for like a week. I came back. My grandfather passed away a couple weeks after. We went to Puerto Rico. We came back from that, and then everything kind of just got shut down, and it was like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? Like, I had already quit my job. Like, my last day of work was Thanksgiving Day, the couple months before, and it was not the best time, but we got through it, and
but you persevered.
Yeah, we had to pivot and figure out a couple other things, and that's how I got into the financial literacy stuff and doing credit repair and stuff like that.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so in April of 2020, I got into doing credit restoration, helping people. I fixed up my own credit, and the reason I got into it was because when I applied for SBA loan, I got denied because of my credit. So my credit was in the 400s. So it was like denied. They were like, the government said we're going to shut you down, but they also said we're not going to help you.
Okay.
And so I had to take matters into my own hands. And so I kind of built that. And then that allowed me to kind of grow as a business and as a restaurant as well too.
No, I love that. And I think people don't realize, like, you have to understand finances in terms of, like, to run your business.
Yes.
It's so important. And, I taught a class recently, I was talking about, it's like a budget. Like, most people don't utilize a budget. And it's like, for me, and I say that, and the simplest thing is this: if you don't know how much you're getting in, you don't know how much you're putting out. And a lot of time you look at things like your output is greater than your input, so that's why you're constantly going to be in a hole.
Yeah.
So you got to figure out and then eliminate some stuff, because we do a lot of things we don't necessarily need to do. So I'm always like, go through your thing and see that, like, what subscription, do you have that
They
you
have
no
an app for
longer
that now.
use?
Yeah.
They do have an app for it, but, like, I'm old school. I do online banking and I still use the paper thing.
Yeah.
Like, I do both. Listen, I find money that they mess up. So, but yeah, no, is it bills or something? Or
I don't even know what the
Truly,
app.
or
There's something you
Truly.
can look it up though.
There are
There's
so
something
many
for
different
sure.
things, but and I love that people have that the opportunity now to do a lot of different things. So you're not just like the owner and see, like, you actually cook. You can actually cook.
I can actually cook. I don't cook as much anymore. Like, okay, I know my guys, they cook. You don't see me in the kitchen, but I can throw down.
You're never watching it like, when's the last time? No.
I cooked my dad. Like, my dad was at today, and the restaurant was closed for a little bit, and he was like, yeah, I want some. He's like, but the guys just left, and I was like, so? He was like, so who's gonna cook? I'm like, I could cook your food. What do you mean? So I just cooked them some food just now. I'm like, Dad, I can cook food. Like, how do you think that this guy learned how to cook that? Like, I gave him my recipes and stuff. Like, what do you mean?
Like, I taught them. Well, it's like my mom. She does that sometimes. So I cook all the time. And my daughter cooked once. Like, my daughter cooked once. And it tasted great, but I helped her. So now every time my mom calls, she was like, oh, who made dinner? And I'm like, one time. I was like, I've been feeding my family for over 20 years. But this girl cooks one time, all of a sudden they just completely forget that, like, that's how you got started,
seriously.
right? Yeah. So how did you know that you always wanted to cook though? Like, you said you used to cook from home.
So I don't think I always wanted to actually cook. Like, I don't think I ever wanted to be a chef. Like, I've never wanted to be like in the kitchen. I love to cook, and I love what food does to people, how it brings people together. When somebody dies, you eat. When somebody celebrating something, you eat. And so it's a way of life, and it's a cultural thing as well. And so to be able to keep the tradition going was more of the thing for me, not necessarily being in the kitchen, but I love creating new dishes and stuff like that. So when we try to create something new, I'm like, all right, guys, I got an idea. Like, we're going to do this. And, so it's fun to, come up. They just told me today, they were like, we're going to do a challenge. And it was like my marketing guy and me versus my head chef and my sous chef. And I was like, okay, so they want to lose today? So what are we doing? They're like, oh yeah, we're gonna have them create. I'm like, no, let's do a mystery box. I'm like,
right.
I want to do so maybe you can come be a judge, because they have to put something together.
Well, there'll be chicken wings.
If you put it in the mystery box,
yes, I'm there. I'm sold. I will be there. I don't do pork and bacon, but everything else. Like,
there you go.
I'm in. I love that though.
Yeah, for sure.
You're right though. Food is, to me, like, God, I wish I didn't love food as much, but food is so important. Like, it just, like you said, like weddings and celebrations, and, it's like for us, it's like a big thing. It's like you get together, like family, like, being from the Caribbean, it's like food is such a big part of who we are. There's always food, there's always cooking, and whoever cooks the best, that's where the gathering happens, right?
Yeah. And everybody's always in the kitchen. You have gatherings and stuff, and people are not really in the living room. They're in the kitchen.
That's the kitchen. That's where most of the action
happens.
And,
the magic.
And the magic happens. So let's talk about your chicken wings. I mentioned it earlier. So you have some good chicken wings, and I'm a chicken wing snob. So
a chicken wing connoisseur over here.
I'm a chicken wing connoisseur too. So yeah, I like chicken wings, and like if I go somewhere and I like the chicken wings, I'll go. So talk to me about, your chicken wings is award winning.
So one of our flavors is
one of your flavors.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that.
Okay, so people, it's now starting to come out like that. This is how it came about. Yeah. So we started off with a guava barbecue. That was like our just signature wing when we first opened. And right before the pandemic actually hit, the same week of the announcement, I think it was the day before the announcement, we actually were in the Girl Scout cookies. If you guys can go support them, 100% go support them. They have an event that they do as a fundraiser every year. And they have chefs that get together and they create either a savory or a dessert. And so they wanted us to create a savory. So I was like, oh, what can we make? And I couldn't figure it out. And I knew that I wanted to make a wing because I was like, I can use the batter, I can use the cookies as a batter. So I'm like, I'll use the cookies you have to use the cookies. So I use the cookies. So we use the lemon cookie and the trefoil cookie, which is just a shortbread cookie. And I was like, you know what? I don't want to you have to give it a recipe because it's gonna go in a book. Like when you go to this fundraiser, they give you a recipe book so that you can make whatever, recreate the dish. And I didn't want to give my guava recipe up. I'm like, I'm going far with this guava barbecue. Like, nobody's touching my guava barbecue. This is my signature. Nobody's touching my recipe. And we created a lemon pepper passion fruit wing sauce to go for with the stuff. So we battered it in the cookies, and then we created this sauce. Gave the recipe out, which not so many people have now because it was 3 years ago and stuff. And then we won first place for the judges' choice. We won first place. Rookie restaurant, brand new restaurant, kind of just came in there, and we won first place for judges, second place for people's choice, and then we did a dessert as well. We won second place and second place for the dessert, which was a Samoa flancocho by Chef Italiana. It's funny because she's nugget, right, to us. She was my baker, but she also was my manager. She's the one that got me into the contest. So this year it'll be fun because she's actually doing a savory and a sweet on her own as her own chef person because she's done this event every single year. So I'm excited to see what she creates. And I'm like, I'm going against you now this year. All right. This year will be fun. But yeah, hopefully this year, well, not hopefully, we're going to win this year. And so then that item will actually be on the menu. Another award winning.
All right, awesome. So tell us about this though. So it's a Girl Scout event.
Yeah.
Is it called Taste of something?
No. Honestly, I can't even remember off the top of my head. It's a Girl Scout cookies competition, chef's competition, but it's on May 12th at Polar Park. So definitely go to their social media pages and May 10th. May 12th. May 12th is the Whoopineurs. I have a busy week next week.
Listen, you have a lot going on. So May 10th is a Girl Scout.
May 10th is Girl Scout. May 12th is yes.
And then May 12th it's the Worcesterpreneurs, which is another forum and we're gonna get into that. So I want to get into that. So you can go on their website. You can purchase tickets. You can go and support, and you can get to see the things in the making. So I love that. And this is the first year back from 2020.
This is the first year back from 2020. Yep. They tried to do it last year, and this logistics just didn't end up happening. I think COVID started spiking up again towards the end of last year, and they just not last year. I don't even know. They didn't end up having it, so they have it now. Cool. It's the first year since. So we're going in as the reigning champs, and we plan on coming back out as champions.
Everybody comes for the champs. Everybody comes to the champs, darling. That's it. But you got this. You guys. I am not there's so many great people that are going to be in it. So I'm just here to support you all.
Either way, it's for charity, and people are going to eat. They're going to love our food, and so it's fun.
And it's a fun event, and you'll get to taste great food. So you know what? So talk about being busy. So you do so many different things in the community. So talk to me. Why is it important to be connected to the community, and then just how do you choose what events to be a part of?
I try to be a part of anything that I'm invited to or that you ask me to be a part of. I think it's important. I grew up with my grandparents being pastors of a church, and they were always giving back to the community. So I think that it's just been instilled in me. And honestly, after my grandfather passed, and he lived with me for 6 years, and just seeing what his legacy actually did, and hearing stories from people after he passed of how he impacted their lives and stuff, really struck a chord with me, and it really sparked something different in me that was like, all right, I need to give back to the community more than ever because it's needed. People need people, and I think if we can come together as a community and just be there for one another, the place would be a happier place. It's just such a simple concept that people just don't understand.
They don't though.
And so, my grandfather definitely played a big role in that, and just hearing how, my grandparents just gave to people. They had their food pantry and stuff like that. And so, just kind of hearing some of the stories and stuff, it just really kind of sparked something in me that, I need to give back and kind of go to the roots of where I came from.
No, absolutely, and I see that you're definitely invested in your community. The Latino community. Yeah. You do a lot. You're involved. Just with a lot of different organizations that are empowering other Latino businesses and providing resources and things like that. And you are involved in the Worcester community itself. Being a part of other things because both are very integral to your success, and it's who you are. You are Latino. You are you live in Worcester. You have a business in Worcester, so it's important important that, the businesses around you thrive, because it's like, what people don't realize, like the more successful business there are in a community, the better the community thrives.
Absolutely.
Because you don't want to be the only successful business, because like then eventually everybody's going to
There's
leave.
plenty for everybody,
Exactly.
so why are we not like, kind of getting together and doing things, together and stuff. So I give you a perfect example. We just started, giving out on Wednesdays I've been helping out a couple businesses, local businesses, to give them a space. I don't really have a lot going on Wednesdays and stuff. I have meditation. We do meditation. So if you guys go to see Prism, is it Prism of Brilliance? Oh my God, I'm trying to blank.
That's okay. It's with
but
Margie.
Margie, yeah, Margie does. She does awesomeness. So every Wednesday, at 6:15, show up. They have meditation at the restaurant upstairs, and so then I started giving. So today, charcuterie. She just rebranded. So Charisse, who does charcuterie. She used to be Lunchbox Munchies, and I can't remember what her new name is.
Listen.
But she's doing a class there today. So
that's
tonight they have a
wonderful.
charcuterie class, and it's kind of like I'm trying to help all these other small businesses. I know
absolutely.
where
Yes.
I came from nothing, and I still feel like I don't have what I want and stuff. I still haven't reached any of my goals, and so I seek mentors that have more than me, so that I can do more and be better and stuff. And so I try to be that mentor and help out whatever capacity I can help out in. I'm a phone call away. Usually people can reach me.
It's important. It's important to have mentors, because you're right. If you haven't been there, you really want to connect with folks who have been there, and could guide you and teach you. And then you want to give back. Like you want to go. You don't want to close the door once you get in. You want to open the door behind you so others could come in. I was listening to this guy, and he was calling the 33% rule. I don't think I think he did break it down, and I don't quite apply to it. But I kind of got the concept where he's saying is like 33% of your time you should spend with people who are further than you, who are where you're trying to get to. 33% of the time, the other 33, you spend it with people that are on your level, so you can have, like conversation.
Yeah, that's important.
Exactly. And then the other 33, you spend it with folks that are, that are less than you, that not are less, but have less than you, so you can help them and pull them up. So you're constantly.
That's a pretty dope concept. I like
that.
I like that.
It was. I was listening to it.
I'm gonna sip tea because we're sipping
no,
tea
sip
today,
your
right?
tea, girl, because it's sipping tea with Suzanne, right? But no, he was saying, so you're growing, you're on your level, and you're teaching. So I thought I was like, I gotcha. That's pretty cool.
I think I want to play that.
Like, yeah, that's pretty cool. Like, so, and then the 1% do what you do. So do what you do. But no, there's, that's awesome. I know for Wednesdays, they're so busy for me. And as you mentioned, there's so many different things that are happening in the community, and you try to be a part of it. You can't be a part of everything, because it's just like,
it's so much going on.
It's a lot. Like, so this week it's insane. Like tomorrow we're the Women's Leadership Conference, and then I don't know. I think there's something Friday. I don't know what it is at this point. And
I don't even know.
But I know next week we have the thing. You're at the thing at Polo Park, and then also the Westrepreneur Forum, which
on Friday.
You are part of that. Like you're one of the speakers. On that. So how did the speaking thing come about for you?
They invited me. What's funny is that when I first opened the restaurant, I think they forgot to, but I was on the panel 3 years ago when they had it, but it was online.
Oh, okay.
And I remember just being on there like, I don't know why they got me on here, but I'm like, Michael Covino's on here. I'm like, Michael Covino owns, like the Bocado and the Fix, and they own the Niche Group, and it's like, you guys got me on here with Michael Covino. I'm like, okay. I'm like, hey, Mike.
Yes, they do.
And that was brand new. I was brand new, so it was fun. So I think now this year it's in person, so it's the first year I'll be able to go to it in person.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then be on the panel and stuff, and it's a lot different.
Yeah.
A lot different process than the first time, so it'll be fun. There's a lot of resources, so people should definitely come out because it's free.
It is. I'm excited. So it's funny. So last year when I left my job and decided to become, step full time in the entrepreneur role, that was the first event I went to. So my last day was that Thursday, which happened to be the She's Local Conference, which I didn't make it. But the Friday was the Westrepreneur, and I was like, this was
last year.
Last year.
Yeah, the She Local is actually a really nice conference. I went to it last year. It was really good.
So I was working. But I'm there this year. I'm actually one of the panelists this year.
Okay.
God is doing what he's doing, girl. God is doing what he's doing. I'm just going to sit back and say, thank you, Lord. I asked you for increase, so I'm just going to be grateful.
Absolutely.
And, similar to what you say, just give back, help those, who like if you know it, Maya Angelou said, like, as you learn, teach, right? Like, what's the point of knowledge if you're just going to keep it to yourself?
Yeah.
Like, keep your recipe, because I don't know the Big Mac sauce, and we don't know the KFC sauce, right?
And you don't know the guava barbecue at Nuestra.
Exactly. Keep your guava barbecue sauce, but, like, other things, as you get connected to resources, share those resources.
For sure.
Because, like, and I love the Entrepreneur panel, because, like, last year when I was there, I did look around, and I was like, oh my goodness, I wish more people knew about this.
Yeah.
Because there were so many resources there. That's how I met, like SWBA. That's how I met Raquel Knight, from CWE. I met so many, like, different organizations with all these resources. And I was like,
you don't know, they don't teach you this stuff. And there's not a booklet that says,
there's none.
This is what you do when you become an entrepreneur. It's kind of like, here you are, figure it out.
Exactly. So you got to go out there. You got to get connected. You got to network. Like last year, I networked so much. Like, so many people know me now. And it was just all from networking. It was just all like going to things. And I'm like, listen, let me talk to people. Let me ask questions. Because listen, as an entrepreneur, you work hard. Like, you work hard, harder than when you work for other people.
Seriously.
And the money is less.
I'm like telling myself, like, you gotta get paid more than I do.
Yeah,
what do you mean?
exactly. Because by the time you really calculate it, like, the money is less. So I was like, you know what? I don't want to just do it just to do it. I want to learn, and I'm proud of my business. But girl, I also want to thrive. You know what I'm saying? I also want to take vacations.
Yeah.
I also want to, I want to live my best life.
Right, seriously.
So, but like, you definitely got to put the work in and, doing that. So what else is on the agenda? I know that, like, there's a lot for you for the month of May, but what else is on the agenda for Miss Natalie?
So right now, we haven't even announced it, so you guys will hear it first on
Right. Breaking news.
Breaking news, right?
Breaking news. Let's hear it.
We will be doing Polar Park again. We did the last homestand for the Taste of Worcester kiosk that they have at Polar Park for the games. For the Woo Sox, we did it in September. They just invited us back. So we'll be doing May 17th to the 21st. We'll be having a different menu than what we have at the restaurant. So we'll be open at the restaurant still, but we'll be at Polar Park for the week as well.
Okay, so I'm going to have to put that in my calendar, because, like, my calendar is filling up for the month of May.
I know.
Yeah, so I definitely will put that on my calendar just to make sure we check it out. So that's it. Okay, so we have the Girl Scout, Taste of Worcester, Worcesterpreneur. All right, so that's just it.
That's for May.
That's just for May.
I don't even June. I've lived off my calendar.
You don't have
digital. I'm a paper girl. I'm a dinosaur. I don't care what anybody says. So I don't have my agenda with me right now. So I don't even know what's in
Girl, it's fine. I do agenda, but like I do digital, but I double work. I know, but it works for me because I like my paper, and just if the phone dies.
If it's really important, then I'm putting it in my digital, or if I'm not at my agenda, then I'll put it digital. Then I'll have to like go back and sometimes it's on double.
No, I have a ton of calendars. I have all right. So talk to me about that shirt, because I was admiring the shirt when like you walked in.
Oh, you know what? I just got this, and it's like super big on me, but it's Mind the Business That Pays You. I saw it and I was like, this is a cute little shirt. I love the slogan. So I know you had asked me that. Is that your shirt? Did you make it? I'm like, no, I didn't make it. I wish I did, because I like it, but it's true. There's people are so concerned with everybody else and what they're doing and why they're not doing something and whatnot. And it's like, just mind your business. Like, if they're not paying you or whatever, it doesn't matter what people have to say about you. And so it's not only for the person to just mind the business, but it's also, for me, I feel like I resonate more with this when it comes to me. Let me mind my own business. Not me telling people to mind their business, but like, if you, especially as an entrepreneur, you mind your own business, you're not worried what anybody that's not paying your bills is saying about you. It doesn't matter what anybody has to say about you, as long as you are for you and whoever's paying your bills or however your bills are getting, then as long as that's all set and then you have your followers, your people, then that's fine. But run your own race pretty much is kind of how I take this one. It's more like, just mind your own business, but not like.
No, hey, it's okay. I like it. I saw when I came in, because, I like saw on my social media today, I'd seen like Reese Witherspoon had said something about, like what other people think about you is like really none of your business, and don't concern yourself about it. And, that's something that I talk about consistently. And he was like, folks, like, I think through the, like, well, that doesn't really kind of go with your message. And I said, like, it really does.
Yeah, absolutely
because I can't be focused on what other folks are thinking.
It's gonna bring you down.
It is. And what I tell people is that my intentions are good. my actions are transparent. So, and I'm living A, to please God, to please myself, and I believe that I'm a good and a kind person. So, like, but there will always be people that misunderstand your motives because A, they're not capable of understanding that concept, or B, they just don't want to.
I found out I had beef with like 2 people this week. Shout out to y'all that got beef with me that I didn't even know about. I heard it from a third party, but 2 different, like in the 1 week, and I was like,
What?
I'm like, every time I see them, I say hi. I'm like, hey. I'm like, they got their own imaginary beef because I'm minding my business.
Girl, what?
I'm over here minding my business, and it's like, I don't.
That is
listen,
hilarious.
All I'm worried about is slinging empanadillas and
Yeah.
making chicken wings. Like, I'm not worried about nobody else.
I can't. I'm dying. Like, I love that, but like, I've heard that.
It's
like,
real though. Like it's so
is.
real, and it's
It
like you
is.
can't live like that. And it was when I heard it, I was like, this is crazy. Then I heard the
Beef with
second one, and I
who?
was like, I can't even say it. It's
Don't
just
even bother. Just
I'm not even gonna bother, but I'm just gonna continue to smile and wave and continue to smile and say hi. Like,
brush that dirt off your
like if
shoulder,
I didn't
girl.
even know the information, I'm gonna continue to
don't
say
even
hi.
bother. Like that's honestly like I will say that a lot of folks don't come to me with gossip because like I don't have the time for it.
Yeah,
Like,
I was just like
really, but yeah, like when
It's
somebody
funny.
says like yeah, like I heard this person doesn't like you, I'm like all right, like I don't even ask what they
That's
said.
their problem,
Like
not
I don't
mine.
ask who it is, like what they said. I do say if you hear that they're going to kill me, let me know.
Yeah.
That part I want to know. But then the rest of it, like I can't be bothered because folks will sometimes intentionally misunderstand. And you know what? Like you can't. So like you're like, yeah, you hear you have beef. You're like, what? Like am I
this is
Tupac?
what?
Am I Biggie? Like what's happening?
What did I do? I'm like, I didn't
Don't
what?
even
Like,
bother.
okay.
Like don't even because you can't fight a rumor.
No.
Like and like you can get bogged down like trying to chase something. Don't
That's
even
like one
bother.
thing I definitely like, especially like this year and stuff. I'm just trying to focus on just
Yeah.
being more positive, you know,
Yeah.
being healthier, just being mentally healthier,
Oh, my
and stuff as
goodness.
well. If you let all that, like, I don't even watch the news. Like, if you
I
just
don't.
let all this stuff just negative, just
Yeah.
it just can bring you down so fast, and you just it's so unnecessary. So just like I'm focused on me. As long as me and my kids and mine's is good, you know, as long as my
Yeah.
closest are good and that's all I care about.
Exactly. Drink
as-
water and mind your business. There was a song.
Or we sip tea.
Like sip tea? Hold on. Like let's put the pinky up.
Hold on, because I have a tea bag in here. She done gave me a tea bag and it's all the way inside of the cup.
All right, so yeah.
You sip your
Cheers,
tea.
sip our tea. And mind our business.
Mind your business. Sip your tea and mind your business. But that's what you're supposed to be sipping tea for, right?
It is like no, you
Be
definitely
like Kermit the Frog. I think I might have disconnected.
like
over
yeah, no, that's fine. Let me see. All right, cool.
I'm good,
No,
okay.
you're good. You're good. Like no, like it kills me. Like people get caught up in like in crazy like that, and
Yeah.
so, just insane. So I'm always searching for inspirational and motivational quotes or saying or just things. And again, I was listening to a guy today, and he was saying and he's like, pray for your friends. He says, your friends are going through some battles you don't even know about, and they can't share it, and they really shouldn't have to share it, but just pray for your friends. Like, if they're not calling you, it's not because, they don't want to call you or something like that. I'm going a little deeper, than what he said, but it's like, pray for your friends. Like, instead of like getting your feelings hurt or just starting to worry, like, why aren't they talking to me or things like that? Pray for your friends.
Yeah.
Because folks are genuinely fighting battles that they feel alone. And getting a call or a text is like, hey, I'm thinking of you, saying to pray for you or something like that is so important. And instead of just getting bogged down, like you said, just in the negativity and just all the other things that truly, frankly, doesn't matter.
I agree.
Intentional joy.
Yeah.
Intentional joy. Like I seek it like in the little things. Like, so this year, I'm all excited because avocado. So you work in a restaurant. I don't know if you serve anything with avocado, but avocado be going bad like crazy.
I hate it.
Yes.
It's
but
a
the
struggle.
last 3 times I bought one avocado, I had the whole thing. Girl, I felt like I was winning. The second time I bought 2 avocado, didn't go bad. Then this week I bought 4 and it didn't go bad. This is my winning season, girl.
We just, it's funny. We had to go to Florida for my daughter's cheer competition,
Yeah.
and we stopped, and I was like, Mom, there's this little market over here. I'm like, they sell food, because she was looking for coffee, and I was like, they sell food, they might sell coffee, but they have like really good food. The place is always packed when I went. So I bring her. They had this giant tray of avocado.
Yeah.
With like, it must have had like, it had like vinegar and olive oil.
Yeah.
And like some red pepper, red onions.
Yeah.
And it was just like there, and it was just like just straight avocado. We
Yeah.
literally took like 3 things of avocado back and like ate it, like breakfast, lunch, dinner. It was just so good. And then and you just reminded me that I forgot, because like, they had avocados like this big in Florida, and I was like, I'm gonna get some before we leave, and I'm bringing like 5 of them back home.
Yeah. No, because
And I forgot them. I forgot to bring them.
They go back quickly, girl. So like, it's just like but this week, all 4, I ate the last piece today, all 4.
It's winning season
like
for avocados right now.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, so for me, like, I'm so happy. And like, it made my day. It's like, I'm so excited, but it's like simple things like that. Like, just find joy in the everyday and the mundane. It's, like running through the rain without getting my hair wet.
Yeah.
Like, girl, that's a win for me. It's things like that. So, you mentioned that in 2020 you started teaching financial literacy class, and are you doing anything more with that?
So I kind of paused it. Like, the restaurant just consumes so much of my time. So I paused it. I do still help people. Every now and then I get like a message. I don't really promote it as much. Every now and then I'll get a message for people that need help and stuff still, and I still help them out and stuff if I have the time and stuff. But I'm trying to get to a point now where I can kind of balance everything, put people in place where they need to be put, and all that fun stuff. But I still, when I get asked, we did a class for Worcester Housing Authority that we taught, financial literacy to some of their recipients, and it went really well. We had a lot of good feedback on stuff on that, and it was just kind of teaching people the basics of credit and, what not to do, things to help, increase it. That way, the system traditionally has been set up to kind of keep you there, and people get scared. You're on Section 8 and you get scared. You don't want to make more money. You don't want to be an entrepreneur because now this money goes on the books. Now your rent's going to go up, and people are scared that they lose their food stamps and their rent goes up. And so to try to break that mindset and stuff too is kind of where we kind of taught the class. Me and 2 of my business partners and stuff that did the same thing. And we kind of went into like our stories and stuff. And, one of them, she had went into her story about how she was in housing at one point and stuff, and she's no longer in housing. And so kind of just teaching people like, look, you can literally be where you are, but that doesn't mean that's the end all be all, and being able to kind of teach that. So when I do get approached and stuff on it, we act in as a community, and hey, anybody want to help me out and do this Zoom real quick, or, go to this class and teach this class and stuff like that. So, it's something that is not taught in schools. It needs to be taught in schools. Shoot, they need to be teaching cooking again, because there's no more home ec. Like, y'all need to make my meatball recipe is the same recipe that I learned from the 7th grade. Like, I don't know what they're doing now, but they need to be teaching some of these life skills for people, because they're just not teaching them. And so so I do still help people when needed and stuff. My business card still has both Nuestra and Nuestra financial on there. That just kind of, so like, here you are, like, if you need help, and we did a first time homebuyers class. I think the last one I did was like in February. It was a couple months ago. And I did the credit portion and stuff like that. So when I get invited and stuff, so I don't really pursue it as much recently, because I'm just super overwhelmed.
Yeah.
I have a lot going on with the restaurant and stuff, but when duty calls and, I get asked, then I'm there.
You step out.
Yeah, I step up.
And I think it's important. I mean, one of the things you mentioned, it is a mindset, and traditionally the system has not been set up for folks to get successful or to get out of poverty. And I mean, there are resources, but they don't know about the resource, and they don't know can utilize it. And you're right. They're thinking, well, if I pursue this, then I'm going to lose this, because they'll rather hold on to little that they have in taking that chance and going for more, because they're afraid that they'll lose it.
Yeah.
It is a mindset, and it's hard to
And they don't teach
break
that.
it. They don't.
They should be. If they started something like kind of like what they were teaching with the financial literacy, they start teaching that, then it helps build people's confidence and stuff. Like, okay, wait a minute, I can buy a house and X, Y, and Z, and being able to set up. So hopefully that will start to change systems and stuff, and we kind of break out of that traditional, I was in housing, the next person's in housing, and so on for generations to come, because there's so much more for our community, especially Black and brown community, that we're just kind of we're not taught these things. It just it's traditionally just not taught, and the whole it's not taught, and so it just needs to be more taught out there. So definitely, it was something that I definitely became passionate about. And my time is kind of like, think about when duty calls and stuff, and
Yeah.
we're asked, and I'm asked, like, I bring my team in, and we do what we can, and teach what we know, and still continue to learn, and just help out in general. Everybody needs help, and everybody just needs to learn that push to just be better people.
Absolutely. No, I think it's so important that folks are learning. Like, I don't know when they're going to start teaching it. Hopefully they will teach it in school soon.
Jersey just adopted it. Maybe I want to say a year or two ago. Now it's part of their curriculum and stuff.
Yeah.
New Jersey. So
yeah, they're too busy trying to block critical race theory, but but just teach people how to balance a checkbook or how to create a budget or just like anything. But I think it's important that, and I think that's great that you give back, and as you said, as the need arises and people call out, and you certainly are there to answer the call. But I love that I do see different businesses and organizations are focused on teaching financial literacy and helping out. There's so many great organizations in Worcester that are currently, doing amazing things in terms of helping entrepreneurs because they need that. So your story is so remarkable because, you talk about you were making food and selling out of your home, and there's so many people from the Caribbean that I know that do, that does that. Like, it's what we know. Like, I mean, I bought food.
Shoot, I even order for people still selling out of their house. Like, oh, you making what this Friday? Sign me up. So let me get two.
You know they could throw down, right?
I do not discriminate.
Listen, good food is good food, right?
Seriously.
Exactly. But yet again, they don't want to take that step because there's so many processes. There's so many things.
They don't teach you. They literally, like, they don't, it's just crazy. And they don't teach you. And I always said, like, I remember telling Peter Dunn in the city and in the business economic office, I'm like, Peter, they need like a guide. Like, I want to get rich enough that I'm going to give back and I'm going to help you guys figure something out for people. Like, there's no guide. Like, there's literally like, hey, you have to do this and you have to do this, but they don't tell you that you could do this before you do this, and then you're thinking you have to do this one before this one. Now you got set back like a whole nother month, and it's like, come on.
I know.
It happened to me, and I know it happened to somebody else that I know. I'm like, I wish you would have. I wish you would have told me. I would have told you that you could have just did this and then do that. It's such a process.
It is. It is a difficult process, and I think that's why a lot of them, because like they don't know.
They just give up.
They're afraid.
Yeah.
They're afraid, and there's so many great businesses that are out there. So for you, you made that transition from home to now you own your own business. So, but it's a lot of work, girl. It's not easy.
No.
So what is a day in your life like?
It depends on which day.
Okay.
Wednesdays are my Mondays. So we're closed on Mondays and Tuesdays. On Mondays and Tuesdays they're my admin days. So if you want to reach me and like really like talk business, Mondays and Tuesdays is the best day. If I don't get back to you, if you reach me on a Friday or Saturday about like a wedding or something like, just in general, like business, I'm just probably not going to reach you.
Yeah.
I think I have like 200 messages on my phone that I haven't even, like, it's a lot.
I know.
It's a lot. And so I get up in the morning, I take the kids to school, and I get ready. I'm at the restaurant. I'm pretty much there all day, with the exception of, having different interviews or different things, that I'm going to and building the business and stuff in other ways. I'm on the board for Discover Central Massachusetts. And so I go to, sometimes I'll be at those meetings once a month and try to get together with whatever, like, networking and labo stuff and things like that. And so I'm kind of just, I'm all over. There's really no like, hey, Natalie's going to be here on Wednesday at 5 o'clock. Like, you just never know where I'm going to be. As long as I can make sure that my staff is all set at the restaurant, then I'm out building and with other people and doing what the best that I can do. And so, then I go home and shower and go to sleep. And then, I'm a mom at the restaurant. Like the kids, they go upstairs to the third floor. And
I love that.
they're, they already know the whole routine. They're there, they hang out, they go downstairs, they know how to ring up their own food, and they ring up whatever they want. And my youngest is 11, my oldest is 16. So they're pretty self-sufficient. And so do you want to go to the restaurant? It's Saturday morning, like I'm up early. You want to go to the restaurant? No? Okay, I'll get you later. I'll send somebody to get you. Oh, you guys want to be home all day? Okay. Hey, I'm sending Uber Eats, to your house or whatever, like to the house or whatever.
Go to the restaurant, right?
So, it just depends. It honestly just depends on the day, but for the most part, I'm at the restaurant. If I'm not at the restaurant, I'm building the business and doing something else. But I try to find a little bit of me time. I do meditation on Tuesdays with Margie, And when I can, because sometimes I can't on Tuesdays, but that's like the 1 hour that I kind of get to myself. And if I can't do it on Tuesdays, then I do try to get that 1 hour. Like, I'm like, all right, everybody's good downstairs at 5, 6 o'clock? Okay, great. I'm going to do meditation real quick, and I'll go upstairs. And so I found that that's actually been very helpful. I've been doing it for a few months now, and it's been very, just a different healing process and stuff, and just kind of just a way to just kind of close your brain out, escape. And I had to learn how to, she would tell you in the beginning, oh, yeah, mind chatter. If you hear mind chatter, let it go. Like the first time I couldn't even focus. I had like such a like crazy week with the restaurant. I was just like there, and all I could think about was the restaurant. Then I'm like, okay, mind chatter. Then I'm like taking it out and trying to picture what she's telling us to think about and stuff. And then so the next week, so the more I go now, the more I feel like I'm doing good. And Jennifer Hernandez, she's been a really good help with that as well. Where she's the one that kind of like was like, you should go, girl. She's like, it's great. Yeah. So that's like my that's me time. Thing. Yeah, I love it. Yeah, that's like my me time. I try to go get my lashes done real quick and
and your fabulous nails, girl.
yeah. This one at least. I mean, I think I went like 6 weeks before I went back to her, and I'm like, hey, I really need to get in there. Get these nails but done. I get so busy that I don't even. So you try to keep up with yourself, but you're still in the face and stuff. And a lot of times I get people at the restaurant, like I'm always in like jeans and sneakers and stuff, and they're like, oh, you're always working. Yeah, I always see you working. I'm like, because I own this place. They're like, oh my God, you're so young. And I'm like, I guess you're supposed to be old.
There's no age limit. Didn't this 15-year-old girl just opened her place in Wu Market, public market?
Yeah, good for her.
Like, I'm just saying, like, there's no age limit. Like, if you're 80 or 18, like, whatever.
Seriously.
Mind the business that pays you.
Mind the business that pays you.
Yeah, so no, I'm really glad you said that, because that's one of the questions I always ask like busy entrepreneurs, like what do you do for self-care? What do you do for me time? And
that's currently my self-care, like me time. Like my nails and stuff is because I have to kind of just be presentable. Good, but my self-care, like I try to do that. Like that's like my weekly thing that I try to really like do. When I don't, I'm like all off. But like that's like the one thing that I've been, especially like this year, and I've just been focused on like just being a better person, being a more understanding person. And I think that we get so caught up in the things that we want and social media and like what social media tells you that you should be and how you should act and dress and all the rest of that stuff, that we get really caught up. And so I've kind of taken a step back the last few months and just really focused in on just positive relationships and just being able to be more positive and understanding, we all were brought up differently. We all didn't grow up in the same household. And I can't expect the next person to understand where I'm coming from if they didn't live my life, and I can't expect to understand where they're coming from if I didn't live their life. So I'm really focused on just kind of like that self-care, that just energy to just like be good energy and don't get upset as quickly as at things and stuff, and just kind of not let the negative kind of overcome me. So that's been a big focus of like my self-care and just kind of like, my mental health and stuff too. It's people don't talk about it enough as entrepreneurs and stuff. And you're expected to be good all the time and always do this and be the face. And it's like, it's tiring. We don't get that opportunity to really like sit back and stuff. So I've been trying to like my best to give myself like that time and stuff. So even sometimes, a lot of times I'll do like my work from like on a Tuesday. Most of the time I'm doing my work from my bed, but I'm working still, but I'm like doing it from bed. That's like my self-care too. Like I'm like, okay, my hair's all over the place. Like I'm home. Dropped off the kids, I'm home. Me and my Coco.
Is that a dog?
She's my dog. She's my fourth kid.
Oh, okay.
She's my whole fourth. I never thought I'd be like that.
Like a dog mom?
She's my fourth kid.
Oh gosh.
It's so bad. She's a Frenchie. She's she's the best.
Okay. Hey, listen, if it brings you comfort, why not? Like that's my tea parties for me personally, but like my individual singular tea parties. But I like what you said though, in terms of, when I think we're all different people, and one of the things that I've been intentional over the past couple of months is how I react to others in certain things, because it's like I have certain expectations, and I realize that not everyone has the same expectations. So say
or are capable of doing those expectations.
Exactly. So you see how, like for me personally, I respond to emails and texts and phone calls like in a very timely manner, and a lot of people don't, because they'll have, like you said, you have 200 messages. That would drive me nuts. So
think my email thing says like 60,000.
No.
A lot of them are spam, though.
I cannot. So like, but I have learned to realize
I need
that
an assistant. Just in
not
case
everybody responds immediately. And for me, like before, I'm like, okay, show yourself grace, show them grace. It's just not who them. Like me, I'm like immediate response. Like that's just what to get it out of the way, check it off, be done with it. But like some people, like sometimes my friends will show me their phones and they have like over 100 text messages. I don't know how. I can't function like that. But I had to learn to say, okay, you know what? That's how they operate. If it's something urgent, then I'll call and says, hey, like whatever. But I've just learned to say, like, not everybody responds urgently to text. Not everybody responds urgently to the email. Not everybody responds. And it's like, it's not like they don't. It's like, A, sometimes A, it's habit, or B, sometimes they genuinely can. So I've learned to be mindful of just because it's my expectation, it might not be their expectation. Might not be their norm.
It's such a hard pill to swallow and learn.
It is a hard pill to swallow. I'm still learning. Like, it's a hard, because it's like you're constantly learning, because it's kind of like, meeting people where they're at. Like, it's easy to say, and it's easier to do with some things.
Yeah.
But with like something like that, which I thought was simple, I'm like, just respond to the text. And then I was like, okay, Suzanne, breathe, woosah, because that's not what it's about. And like for me, like my relationships, like the relationships in my life were so important to me. So like my best friends, or like my family, like people that I genuinely care about, that like the people that I check up on, like the people that I'll shoot a text like, hey, how are you today? Or like whatever, like those relationships are so important for me. But again, even those relationships, they're different from me.
Right.
Like these people, and I'm okay with that, because I don't want somebody who's exactly the same. So as I'm teaching, I'm also learning, because like I realize that like the standards that I have, not everybody has them. And there's standards that they have that I don't have, that sometimes like they'll think something's a big deal and I don't, and I'll think something's a big deal and that they don't. And like, I'm just like, you know what, we just got to live our lives.
Yeah, for sure. It's hard. It's not an easy process.
It's not
People don't
easy.
understand, like for me on my end, like if I'm not like getting right back to you or whatnot, like I literally, like you're talking about, I'm getting constantly called, or like I have somebody in the kitchen asking me a question at the same time as the bartender, at the same time as the host. Oh, hey, and then at the same time there's somebody walked in that whatever, or it's just, there's just a lot of components. Like sometimes I'm like, hold on, there's three of you guys, you go first, like and it's like people, they expect so much, and it gets really overwhelming sometimes.
It does.
When you're the one that has to, that everybody's looking for an answer from. And then on top of that, you have to build these relationships and maintain them and stuff like that. So
it's a lot.
It's tough. And so, you even as an entrepreneur, you miss events.
You do.
Like, for like birthdays and things like that. And it's like, it sucks. Like, like I remember there was a Sweet 15 that I wanted to go to, and somebody, a friend of mine, it was her daughter's, and I couldn't go. And I was like, here, my mom went and stuff. And it's like, Natalie's at the restaurant and stuff. Like, I got stuck over there. And so it's like, it sucks. Then, you don't want to upset them at the same time because you're not showing up. But then I try my best to like make sure that I'm staffed and be all set so that I can go and do these things, or like, missing, missing trips, or missing, going out to eat with your friends or whatever. Like, it's even the little things, like people don't understand, like there's just, sometimes I just can't, like I just can't.
And it's okay. Like, you've got to show yourself grace. And I also like believe, like, I show other people grace. And I think genuinely, if like people care about you, and if you care about people, like, our goal is to work towards understanding, right? Yeah. But you can't make everything. Like this week alone, I literally have 0 free nights. Like 0 free nights. So if somebody says, hey, let's go grab a cup of coffee, I can't. And I was like, you can't grab a coffee? Like, I genuinely cannot. Like, every night is planned out. It's like, and it's not always. Then there's some weeks that I'm like, oh, like I have, and that's good.
Nothing on the calendar.
And that's okay. Don't say it too loud.
Don't jinx it.
Don't jinx it, because it will get built out. But you know what? And, it's another thing. Like, there's so many things happening in Worcester. And there's so many great people that I know, like people that I've met like last year, you, like Jennifer Hernandez, like Bree, and all these people, like I know them, and they're all doing things, and they're all having events, and, things like that. And, like Miguelina from E4All, like I'm a big fan of E4All, things like that. There's always an event, I feel.
I feel like I have to get back to them on an email too. You just reminded me. I'm supposed to be one of their mentors coming up. Miguelina's been asking me,
Yes,
I hope we see
please
a
do it.
million
I'm a
us watching.
mentor, and I love it. So I did respond to that email. It's not going to be a mentor
I think it's what, this Friday,
year.
right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll be there.
Yes. Yay. No, but you get busy. You get busy, and you're right. Like sometimes you're being pulled in so many different directions, and it gets overwhelming.
Yeah.
And to take that moment and just breathe. And this is why I love tea. Like it really is.
Tea is calming.
Like tea is calming for me, and like my tea has turned into a business for me, and it didn't start out like that. Like because it was just me, just like doing this for myself. I mean, yeah, granted, I dressed up for it. In my gown, my gloves, my hat, whatever, just by myself. And
I almost busted out with my Kentucky Derby. I was like, should I bring my Kentucky
Girl,
Derby hat?
you should've.
I used to work at Sweet. I was telling this story the other day. I used to work at Sweet on Shrewsbury Street back in the day, and we had a Kentucky Derby party, and they had a hat contest, and the woman who threw the party, I told her, I'm
Yes.
like, I think your hat is the best. She's like, I can't enter the contest. She gave me her hat at the end of the day. It was like a $200-something hat.
Yeah, those hats
She
are
came
not
back
cheap.
a couple days later. It's a woman in Boston that makes hats
Yeah.
for like Ireland and all this stuff,
Yeah.
and she brought me the actual box. So I have it in the box.
Oh, in the box. Yeah, I know. I had a box. I don't even know where it is.
One of my
so,
close
like,
friends,
yeah.
she's having a bridal shower next year, and her theme is like a Kentucky Derby. Like I'm like, I got a hat for your bridal shower.
I love it.
I'll
I
be
love
there.
it. Yeah, anything tea. Like I'm so like so. Yeah,
You could be my +1.
Yes, I already have.
I'll probably just come to you for the decor anyways. Like, excuse
Girl,
me.
Listen, I have the gloves, the hat. Like, yes, please, yes. Like tea parties. Like I feel like anytime you hear his tea party, I'm like, yes, what, where is it? What is it? Like, yeah, it's calming.
We gotta do a tea party in Nuestra. You gotta come do a tea party in Nuestra.
Yes.
Can we spike the teas too? Can we do like adult tea? Adult tea night? You guys would want adult tea night, no? Why not?
Yes. I can't spike mine because I don't drink, but
We could have regular and non-regular
Yes,
for those
I
that
do
want
have
a boozy tea night.
I do have friends
We're
that
onto something.
Ooh. So I sent a friend of mine this clip yesterday. It's a silly clip with Ben Stiller. And it was like when you tell your friends you're not drinking this weekend, they're like, "No, I know you, and you know you, and you know that I know that you know you." Like you know that's not true. It was so silly, and she was cracking up. So yeah, no, the tea could be spiked.
Boozy tea.
Yes, it's yeah, absolutely. I would love that. I will host tea parties. Like I will literally go to England to host a tea party. That's how much I love tea parties. Like I do. For me, it's common, and like I do it for the adults. And like this Sunday, I did my first tea
I know,
party.
I wasn't
for
here. I
Little
missed it.
Princess.
I wanted to come.
Yeah, but that's for princesses.
wasn't
girl,
around.
12 and under. So
I have one princess.
Yes. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Under 12.
You could have sent her, but yeah, no. It was. They had such a great time.
I saw the setup. It looked amazing.
Yeah, it looks amazing. I haven't even posted the pictures yet, because it's like I've been so busy.
Yeah.
But I received I received a message from one of the moms today, and she said that she was like, "Thank you so much. My daughter enjoyed it so much. She came back like empowered and inspired and doing affirmations." And I didn't have any plans for it, but like we were doing affirmations. Like I'm a princess and I can be anything that I want to be.
Yeah.
And I was saying, like, this is affirmations. Make sure you guys do affirmations, and like people will try to tell you. And it was just, and like
It's important.
Gotten feedback from these moms that their little girls are like chanting these affirmations now.
That's so awesome.
And I'm like, oh my God, that is amazing.
Yeah.
And, so that's what I love about tea. It just gives you the opportunity to just connect and see different. And then, my older queens, they do affirmations, and yes, they spike it. But yes, let's
Adult tea night coming soon.
Coming
Nuestra,
soon.
coming soon.
They'll definitely need some Uber that night.
Yeah, right.
Like just, oh my goodness. All right. So I am so excited, just about everything that's, happening for you. And, I love that you share your story, because a lot of times folks see, because like Nuestra, right? The restaurants, like doing different events, and they don't know the story. They're like, oh my God, she's doing good. I'm thinking like, it just happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. It takes,
I cry like once a week, twice a week, maybe. It's,
Hey, crying is good for you. I've learned that.
We just, we get through.
We do. It's like, what, it takes 20 years to become an overnight success?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Something like that.
Like we're working behind the scenes.
That means I got like
like
Got
a
a long
few years
time.
left. No, you're doing amazing. I'm so excited when I
Thank
see
you.
your restaurant. Like I see your name on events and things like that, and just so proud of just the work and just your investment in your community, your Latino community, the
Yeah.
community of Worcester. You're giving back and doing different things while learning. Like along the way. So you're doing what Maya Angelou says: as you learn, teach, and things like that, and still staying. So you're doing that 33%, girl.
There you go.
Like, yeah, so we're gonna adopt that 33. With
I like that
folks
33%. I'm
where
definitely
we
gonna
wanna
make sure
go.
like
Exactly, to just look at it,
my
and
schedule needs to reflect that 33%
it
too.
should. It should, and you know what? It's okay to outgrow people.
I know that I know.
Okay.
That I know.
It,
I've learned that.
It's a hard concept sometimes because then you're like, because that's when you really try to focus on not worrying about what folks say because then, especially in my culture, them say like you get rich and switch.
Yeah,
Like,
and it's not. It's just we just need different. We have different needs. That's all.
you grow and
It doesn't mean that
evolve.
you're not gonna always be there for
Yeah.
that person or whatnot and stuff too.
Yeah.
It's just
No, I have
different
friends.
journeys.
Absolutely. I have friends that like when we call, we talk about things that like back in the past, like whatever. We're not really gonna hang out now because like we really have nothing in common. But like every couple of years, it's nice to catch up and just laugh about something that was silly and whatever and
Yeah.
fun, and we're okay with that. Like,
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. And just like I don't when they say like give me a number, I'm like. Because you're not gonna call and they're not gonna call. So, but yeah, it's okay. It's okay to grow.
Yeah.
It's okay to just be kind. I always say like kindness goes a long way.
Yeah, I don't know for sure it does.
Like just be kind. Yeah. So, what is the next goal for you? So I know you're doing a lot, but tell me about a goal that you're going forward. If it's something that you can share, I don't want you to share something that you're.
No. I don't know. Honestly, I don't have a next. I don't have a next goal. My current goal, I'm still trying to work on.
Okay.
No, I don't necessarily have. I mean, I guess one thing that I have been like trying to figure out would be like mentoring, like business mentoring, for people. Just because I feel like I'm always giving good ideas. I feel like I have like great ideas for like everybody else. Like you should do this with your business and stuff. And they're like, oh my god, that's a great idea and stuff. So, trying to just give like back, give back, but at the same time, I've honestly, but I don't even know where I would have the time for it. But if I could create the time, I would love to like be like a business coach, like a business mentor, business coach, and I want to teach.
Okay.
I've been trying to get into the. I talked to my professor, my previous professor, who became my boss because she was like,
Yeah.
"You need to work for me," and she harassed me until I worked for her. And so she's teaching, so she's trying to get me into teaching. So that would be a goal. It's basically that, like coaching and teaching. So
What subject would you teach?
like hospitality and
Oh,
stuff. Like so,
okay.
like
Okay.
teaching wise, like business would be like business coaching just in general, just in general overall. Like being able to teach like mindset and different things like that. And then teaching would be like hospitality focused, like like I want to teach college course like hospitality work. So my previous professor, the reason I bring her up is because she said she was going to tell me if there was anything open, and if there wasn't, she's like, you can come teach some classes with me in the fall. So
Yeah, it's fun.
so I can be like a thing. So I would love to be able to like teach at a college. That's
Yeah.
like my next
That's
goal. So
awesome.
Quincy,
Okay.
call me.
Yeah. I actually was thinking that because they have a great hospitality program,
Yeah,
so I
yeah.
was thinking like for them. Why
Yeah,
not?
and I'm a graduate. I'm an alumni. I
I'm
was
alumni.
on the dean's list. Like I
Oh,
graduated
look
with
at
a
you,
4.0.
girl. Yes. But you'll get an opportunity to give back.
Yeah.
Because as a mentor for E4All, like you get to give
Yeah.
advice, and
Yeah.
and that's actually pretty cool. So
Yeah.
I like that. And I'm a mentor
And you'll
for
learn
QCC
different things
too.
and stuff with them too.
You
So
do,
yeah.
because they pair you with other mentors.
Yes.
So you also get like to build like a network with
Yeah.
other people and things.
Yeah,
like
I'm
that. So it's
excited for
really
that
cool.
too. So
Yeah.
that's kind of like a that's
Yeah.
kind of where I'm gonna learn like some of the coaching and stuff that I want to do. But definitely teaching is a goal in the next like year or two that I'm trying to.
Oh, that's
Even if it's an
wonderful.
online school, like I
Yeah.
just want to be able to like have my own class. Like I want to be like Professor Natalie Rodriguez. Like
Holla. I love it. It will come through. God is intentional.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
He does what he does, and everything happens when it's supposed to happen.
Yeah.
So everything has a season. So if you had to give some advice to entrepreneurs, what advice would you give to them? especially those in the food industry?
I mean, besides mind your own business that we already talked about, is really like that's honestly like that's like my biggest thing is like to run your own race to be who you are and be true to yourself and don't let what other people like say and do and food wise like there's plenty for everybody. Like I eat at Kelly Square Pizza just as much as I eat at Dragon Dynasty. Like it's not Dragon, Boomer's Pizza. Like I have different tastes for different things. Sometimes I want like certain Japanese, and sometimes I want a different place for Japanese. Like sometimes I want the rice from here, and sometimes I want the wings from here. Like there's something for everybody, and there's no real competition because if you're running your own race, then you're minding your own business, then you're just gonna keep it moving. And I guess for fellow like entrepreneurs would be to don't have expectations of people. The people that you expect to be there the most for you are not going to be there. The people that you expect to support you are not going to be there. I have uncles that have never been into my restaurant. I have first cousins that have never been into my restaurant. I have friends that have never been to the restaurant, but they'll be at Applebee's. So posting. So don't let that get to you. But just make sure that, you know, not to match the energy, but just remember that energy, you know, when it comes time, like, don't let them claim you either at the same time. But, you know, like, it's just true. Like, you know, I have one uncle, though, and he came from Florida. The first thing he did, came to the restaurant. You know what I mean? So it's like, you just got to keep pushing. Like, you know, I have family members who have literally, it's just crazy, but just the people who you expect to be there are not going to be there. Don't have any expectations of people. Your strangers are going to be your best friends. You're going to literally meet amazing strangers that will be amazing people. And I know that if I called Susan, that I know that, hey, listen, can you help me out with this? I know that if she is capable of it, she's going to be able to help me to the best ability that she can. And there's going to be people that I've known for years that won't even bother. They wouldn't even care less to even help me. And so I think that's the biggest thing is that they don't teach you. You learn for it the hard way. It's tough. It's not a good feeling. Eventually, that not good feeling goes away. Like now, I don't even care. But it was tough in the beginning and stuff. But I feel like that's the one advice to entrepreneurs that it's not talked about enough. And really, your best supporters are going to be your strangers, because the people that you know, the people that you know they've known you, and the people that you grew up with, they know, and so they don't believe in you because they know of what you've done in the past or how you've grown up. They don't see that in you, and they want to still kind of keep you where you were. And you know, being able to, it's hard for people to actually understand it, and not everybody's gonna understand you, and that's okay.
It's okay.
And that's okay. And I think that's the biggest thing. I think that people don't really get. They think that my friends are gonna be the best one. Their friends are gonna be the first ones that want a discount.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because it's like, you know, people like, oh, can I get this? And it's like, my dad will come to the restaurant and will literally, I'll be like, Dad, your bill's all set. He literally will argue with me, and he'll wait till I walk out to like tell the bartender to charge me full price. My dad, my own father, like hey, you don't have to, you know.
Into you.
And so he's like, no, I'm supporting your business 100%, charge me full price. Don't give me a discount.
Because he wouldn't get a discount at Cheesecake Factory.
Right. So it's like, you know, so there's just going to be, you know, it's just that. And everybody should just be thinking that way and stuff. And it's okay, like, that people don't support you or they don't, you know, follow or whatever. It's okay. Like, it's okay. Just don't let them claim you.
No, listen, you know, that is so much. And, you know, you talked about it for being business, but I think that's also a good philosophy for life. And I think that you're right. You know, people don't realize you're right. You think like, okay, if I open my business, because like all the friends that you used to cook for and give free food, like all of a sudden you have a restaurant, you're thinking they're going to be lined up, but you're right. They're at Applebee's, like posting pictures, and that's okay. Just don't let the bitterness, like you said, consume you.
Yeah, you can't.
You can't, because then you'll get caught up and it's like, oh, they didn't come. Nah, just let it be. God will do what God will do.
And they'll be replaced by somebody else.
Exactly.
Anyways.
And God will place people in your life that will get you to the next level. Yeah. You just have to be open to it. And you won't get it if you're focused on bitterness and anger. Believe me, I do the show on the podcast. Like, there's people that I know very, very well. I'm close, like every single, like, oh, you have a show? oh, you have a podcast? And I'm like, and I'll go to,
Where you been?
like, I go to different places, and like, where was I? I was like in Boston, and like somebody recognized me, like, oh, you're Positively Suzanne. I listened to you.
That's
and
awesome.
It's amazing. And then this guy reached out to me and he was like, oh, the CEO of my company is a fan of yours. And I'm like, oh, I don't know her. He's like, oh, don't worry, like, she follows you. And I was like, I have no idea who it is. And like, I have literal people that I know and I see almost every day, and they're like, oh, you have a podcast. I was like, yep, since 2019.
Wait, I got a question for you. As an entrepreneur and stuff, like your face is out there and stuff. Do you get people that are like, hey, how are you? Like, oh my God, girl, how's it going? And then you're like, hey, back. But then you're like, what's their name?
Yes. Yeah, I do.
It's so bad. Sometimes I get it at the restaurant.
Yeah.
Like once a week at least. And I'll be like, did they pay with a credit card? What's their name on the credit? Give me the credit card slip.
Yeah, no. Well, at least you have that. I don't know, and I'm so friendly, and I'm just like, oh my God, give me a hug.
Yeah.
And then somebody was like, did you know? I'm like, no idea.
My mom will say that to me all the time. She's like, did you know? Like,
no idea. But I love
how's
people.
the family? I always say, how's the family? Because you can never say how's mom
That's a
or
good
how's
one.
the sister. You know, because
But
like,
we can't give away the tricks because then they'll know and use it against us. So I'm not gonna say anything. But yeah, so don't ask her husband or kids because you never know. Families, yeah.
Don't ask
a
husband,
good
kids,
one.
mom, dad. You can't.
Like just
never know.
just family. But like, you know, I find like now that I come on social media, like so many people recognize me, and I'm like, I'm the same everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, so I'm just, and I believe in energy. Like, and I'm just like, you bring your energy wherever you go. So I go, I'm happy, I'm excited, and if you have that energy, I'm out. But you know, it's like, yeah, it's just like, you can't be worried about what folks say.
No.
Just live your best life. Like life, I have been, like for the past couple of weeks, I have seen so many, pray for this person, so many people being diagnosed with cancer, so many people passing away. And I'm not like talking strangers. I'm talking folks that are like 3rd-degree separation, you know, things like that. And I'm just like, how am I going to get bogged down because somebody didn't like my post? How am I, that's going to be the thing that ruins my day. Like,
yeah.
People are
when life is literally so
cancer.
short.
You know what I'm saying? So
life is so short. Like I have a friend right now that, you know, pray for my friend. Like, you know, like, and that person gave me some news the other day, and I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Like, I was just with you last week, and it's just like, life is so short. You just literally never know what's gonna happen, when it's gonna happen, how it's gonna happen, and then it just happens on you. So that's why I've been focused on, you know, the energy, the meditation, just being a more positive person, and just kind of not trying to dwell on stuff, and just removing myself from certain situations and minding my own business and keeping it pushing.
I love it.
Focus.
I love it. So I so enjoyed our conversation.
Absolutely.
And I know that you and I are going to do some things together, whether it's spike tea parties or whatever it is.
Tea after dark.
Tea after dark. But I am so proud of you, and I am so just excited to see that everything that God is doing in your life right now, and everything. And I know it's hard work. I know you might make it look easy, but you know, I know it's hard work, and it's a lot. This is a lot of hard work running Thanksgiving dinner, girl. So I can't imagine running a restaurant. So
I don't even think we did anything for Thanksgiving this year. I'm like,
you're tired. You're done. Exactly.
Easter, we're ordering pizza. Like, I don't know what you guys do.
Folks will think, oh, she made a big spread. No, honey, you cook every day.
No.
So, you know, but I'm so proud of you and just everything that
Thank
God's
you.
doing for you, and your story's inspiring, and I'm just so excited to see.
Thank you so much for having me.
Happening. No problem. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you for giving me the time.
Yeah, no, but I love your show. Like, I love your, you know, your show and your positivity, and like, you know, this is this is needed. This is something that's needed, and so I think, you know, there should be more people like you in the world.
Oh, thank you.
But yeah, no, you know, you're always so bubbly, and you walk into a room and you command, like, without actually commanding. You walk into a room and you command the attention and the hey, there's Suzanne, girl. I'm dropping everything. Like, hey, girl. Wait a minute, you make your own drink. I'm coming right back.
I know. Thank you. You've always been so warm with me.
Yeah.
No, thank you. So. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for sipping some tea with me.
Thank you for sipping tea with me. And we actually did sip tea.
Yep.
And I'm just so excited about everything.
Yeah.
And I will post the information, how people could find Nuestra restaurant. I don't remember. I think it's Pearl Street.
Yeah, 55 Pearl.
55 Pearl Street. And there's parking.
Across the street.
Across the street. So there's so many things. Please go check out the restaurant. Go to the Worcesterpreneur. You'll see her on May 12th. That's free. So just follow her. And just be inspired, because I'm inspired by you.
Absolutely.
So
I'm inspired by you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, darling. Oh. All right. So until the next episode, this is us saying bye-bye.